The floor dropped out from under me. Not a dramatic collapse, but a slow, sickening lurch. That's what it felt like when Amanda, my wife of 2 years, told me. Not in a fight, not in a tearful confession, but slurred out in a drunken haze. I was never really attracted to you. The cracks begin. Before that night, I genuinely believed we had a good thing. Solid. Not some fairy tale nonsense, but a real partnership. I'm Ryan, 32, in construction management. I worked my ass off so we had a decent place in a good neighborhood. I took her out, bought her gifts. I was straight up in love with Amanda, 29, an accountant. Waking up next to her, I felt lucky. She seemed sweet too, making my lunch, sending cute texts, little surprises. When I had the flu, she stayed home, made soup, checked on me. You think you've got someone who gives a damn, right? Then, a couple months back, things fell off. Not big explosions, just subtle shifts. She'd come home from work looking drained, not physically tired, but emptied out. Fine. She'd mumble when I asked about her day, then zone out on the TV. Before, she'd tell me all about her crazy coworkers. Now, nothing. What really got to me was the blank stares. We'd be at dinner, and she'd just stare at nothing, her food untouched, mind a million miles away. Nothing, just work stuff. She'd snap out of it, forcing a smile that never reached her eyes. Babe, is everything okay between us? I asked one night. That guilty look flashed across her face. Everything's fine, Ryan. Just going through some stuff at work. I pushed. You know you can talk to me, right? We're a team. She gave me that fake smile again. I know. I just need some space to figure things out. Nothing for you to worry about. But I did worry. I started trying harder, gifts, date nights, trying to reconnect. Sometimes she'd seem happy, but it always felt like an act. The revelation. Then came the day my stomach dropped. I got home early, finished a project ahead of schedule. As I walked up, I heard Amanda's voice through the open window, on the phone with her sister, Katie. I just don't know how to tell him, she said, dead serious. It's not like he did anything wrong. He's a good guy. That's what makes this so hard. Katie's voice, on speaker, cut through. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Divorce is never easy, but dragging it out only makes it worse. My heart seized. Divorce? I froze. Then Amanda moved, and I panicked, backing away, getting in my truck. Drove around for an hour, trying to process. I convinced myself I misunderstood. Katie was getting divorced. Yeah, that had to be it. When I finally went home, I walked in acting normal. Amanda was on the couch, phone face down. Hey, you're home early, she said, startled. Everything good with Katie? I watched her closely. Katie? Oh, yeah? Just the usual stuff. She lied. That's when the gears started grinding. The next couple of weeks were hell. I replayed that conversation over and over. Amanda became even more distant, staying later at work, going out with new coworkers. I started checking her social media, looking for clues, but it was just the same boring food pics. I ramped up my efforts, cooked her favorite meals, suggested a getaway, bought her a necklace she'd been eyeing. She seemed touched, but that something off look remained in her eyes, a hint of guilt. I lay awake next to her, wondering if our marriage was a story I'd made up. What if everything I thought was real wasn't? The drunken confession. Then came that Friday night. Amanda said she was going out with work friends. Normal lately. She'd come home tipsy, straight to bed. This night was different. I was half asleep on the couch when she stumbled in around midnight. Wasted. Makeup smeared, barely walking. Hey, I said, sitting up. You good? I'm fine, she slurred, flopping down next to me. She reeked of perfume, probably to cover the booze. Have fun? I asked, nerves tightening. So much fun. She giggled, leaning her head on my shoulder. The girls are so awesome, so much better than hanging around the office with all the boring people. Then that weird look. She started playing with my hair. You know what one of the girls asked me tonight? What? I asked, getting more uncomfortable. She asked if I was happy? Like really happy with my life and stuff. Her voice turned serious. Am I happy, Ryan? I don't even know anymore. This wasn't normal drunk talk. I thought you were, I said carefully. She sighed dramatically. You're such a good guy, you know that? Like, so good that it hurts. The way she said it, it wasn't a compliment. Thanks, I mumbled, lost. No, really. She waved her hand. You're good. You're stable. You're reliable. Everything my parents ever wanted from me. My chest tightened. And what's wrong with that? She laughed, a bitter sound. Nothing. Nothing's wrong with it. That's why I married you. Because on paper you're perfect. On paper. It was an insult. She turned to me, eyes unfocused. Can I tell you something? Something I've never told anyone. I nodded, even though every instinct screamed at me to stop her. I was never really attracted to you, she said, the words spilling out like a grocery list. Not even from the beginning. I liked you, I respect you, but that spark thing, that makes you want to tear someone's clothes off? Never had it with you. It felt like a gut punch. What the, Amanda? My family was always on my case. She rambled, ignoring me. When are you going to settle down? Find a nice guy? Stop wasting time with losers? Then I met you. And you were everything they wanted. And I thought, maybe this is what being an adult is. Maybe passion doesn't matter as much as stability. So what? I was just convenient. A checkbox on your life plan? No, 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 she slurred, reaching for my hand, which I pulled away. I do love you, Ryan. Just not the way a wife should love her husband. And not the way I loved. She stopped herself. The way you loved who? I demanded, everything clicking into place. There's someone else, isn't there? There's always been someone else. She closed her eyes, tears starting. It doesn't matter. He's gone. Has been for years. At that point, I just froze and listened. Sometimes I wonder what my life would have been like if I'd followed my heart instead of my head. She mumbled, words still slurring. But my parents would have disowned me. They hated him so much. She let out a bitter laugh. They love you, though. Everyone loves Ryan. So dependable, so steady. Each word felt like a knife. All this time, I thought we had something real. Meanwhile, she was just settling for me, because I looked good to her family. I wanted to feel it, you know. She continued, staring at the ceiling. I tried so hard to feel the way I was supposed to. And you're so nice to me, always doing things for me, making me feel guilty for not loving you the right way. I didn't realize loving your husband was such a burden, I said, my voice shaking. It's not a burden, she said, eyes getting heavy. It's just not what I thought it would be. Not what I felt with him. Who is he? I asked, though I wasn't sure I wanted to know. Doesn't matter, she mumbled, eyes closing. Gone now. Long gone. She passed out right there. I sat in the dark, feeling like my world had just imploded. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. Every kiss, every I love you, every night together, all built on me being just the safe choice, the guy her parents approved of, the backup plan. I threw a blanket over her. Not out of kindness, but out of habit. Then I went to our bedroom, alone, and packed an overnight bag. I couldn't stay. Checked into a motel a few miles away. Didn't text her. Just needed to be away, to process. I lay on that lumpy bed, replaying her words. I was never really attracted to you. The worst part, a small voice in my head whispered, maybe I'd known all along. Maybe I'd sensed something was missing, but I'd ignored it because I wanted so badly to believe. The investigation. Monday morning, I called in sick to work for the first time in 3 years. I couldn't face anyone. Couldn't pretend. I needed answers. I thought of Jen, Amanda's best friend since college. If anyone knew about this mystery guy, it'd be her. I texted Jen, asking to meet for coffee. she agreed, surprised. The look on her face when she saw me at the cafe told me everything. She knew. My marriage was a sham, and she never said anything. I kept my voice steady. Told her everything Amanda had confessed. I watched Jen's face for surprise. There wasn't any. This wasn't news to her. Jen tried to soften it, saying Amanda did care about me. Just maybe not in the way you thought. Like that was supposed to help. When I pressed her about the guy, she got uncomfortable, saying it wasn't her story to tell. That pissed me off. My entire marriage was a lie, and she was worried about betraying Amanda's confidence. I pushed harder. Jen finally gave me some basics. Someone from before me, her parents hated him, it ended badly, Amanda was a mess. Then she met me, stable, kind, and Jen thought Amanda genuinely wanted it to work. When did Amanda start acting weird? I asked. Jen said around January. That's when it clicked. January. That's when Amanda's company merged. That's when she started having all those after-work events and coming home late. The pieces slotted together. I flat out asked if this guy, Derek, was back in Amanda's life, working with her. Jen didn't want to answer, but her face gave it away. He was back. That explained everything, her distance, her guilt, those mysterious late nights. The exit strategy. Back at the motel, I needed a plan. I needed to know everything, all the lies, before I could figure out what to do next. I drove back to our house when Amanda was at work. The house felt different, like a stranger's place. I went straight to her home office. Her laptop was unlocked. I wasn't proud of what I was about to do, but I needed answers. I started with her emails, then Google Drive. Found a folder labeled Personal, I'd never seen. Inside, dozens of journal entries. The first 6 years ago, before we'd even met. I saw him today, Derek. He was with some blonde, laughing like he didn't have a care in the world. It's been 2 years since he left, and it still feels like yesterday. Mom says I need to move on, find someone appropriate this time. As if my heart is just something I can control. As if I can just decide who to love. Derek. There it was. His name. I scrolled, watching the timeline of our relationship unfold from her perspective. Entries from when we first met were clinical. Brian seems nice. Stable job. Good family. Polite. Mom already loves him. He's nothing like Derek, which I guess is the point. My heart ached. Then, right before our engagement, Brian proposed tonight. I said yes. Everyone's thrilled, saying how lucky I am because he's a good guy, crazy about me. But right now it feels like someone tore my heart out. Still, that should be enough, right? People settle down for way less every day. Maybe eventually my feelings will catch up, and this ache in my chest will fade. It has to. It made me sick. All this time, I thought we had something real. She was convincing herself to settle for me. Then, entries from January this year. Derek's back. His company merged with ours, and suddenly he's there, in the same building, taking up all the oxygen. He looks the same but different, more mature. He asked about my life, and I showed him pictures of Ryan, our house, talking about how happy I am. The biggest lie I've ever told. We had drinks after work, just as colleagues, I told myself, but the way he looks at me, it's still there. That electricity, that feeling that nothing else matters when he's around. What am I going to do? I can't sleep, can't eat. All I think about is Derek. Ryan's been so attentive lately, bringing me flowers, planning date nights. It makes me feel like the worst person in the world. He deserves someone who feels about him the way I feel about Derek. Always have. More recent entries showed her guilt, her confusion, her attempts to recommit to our marriage. But it was too late. The damage was done. I closed the laptop, numb. It was all there, in black and white. I'd never been anything but a substitute, a placeholder. I took pictures of some entries with my phone, put everything back. I wasn't confronting her yet. I needed time to plan my exit. There was no coming back from this. I went back to the motel, staring at the photos. 4 years wasted on someone who used me as a stand-in, a backup plan. Every memory tainted. I just felt empty. I called my brother Jake. Told him everything. He wanted me to stay with him, but I wasn't ready to face anyone. "You deserve better than that lying," he said. He was right. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Time to end this sham. I spent the next week planning my exit, met with the lawyer twice, started separating finances, looked at apartments. Didn't tell anyone. Amanda kept texting, calling, even showed up at work. I avoided her, sent brief "I'm okay, need space" messages. She was freaking out. The lawyer said I had a solid case for an at-fault divorce based on emotional infidelity, but I just wanted out, clean and fast. I didn't care about getting everything I was entitled to. The confrontation. After 10 days, I decided it was time to face her. I arranged to meet her at our house on a Saturday afternoon. I'd already moved essentials to my new apartment. Driving up to the house felt alien. This place we built together, all based on a lie. I sat in my truck preparing myself. When I went inside, Amanda looked terrible. Messy hair, dark circles, wearing one of my old sweatshirts, classic move to play on my emotions. She ran toward me for a hug, but I stepped back. She launched into a tearful apology. How she was sorry, drunk, didn't mean what she said, loved me, couldn't imagine life without me. I let her talk, watching the performance. When she finally stopped, I told her I knew about Derek. The color drained from her face. She tried to play dumb. "Who?" When I told her I'd read her journal, seen the letters, she collapsed onto the couch. She sat there, staring at her hands. Then the excuses. Derek was just an old flame, the journal entries were just confused feelings. She'd been trying to let go of the past. I didn't buy any of it. I told her I'd read everything. I knew she'd been comparing me to him, pretending during intimacy, seeing me as the safe, boring choice. Then she switched tactics. I'd invaded her privacy. Checking her computer was a violation of trust. Like she was the victim. I almost laughed. The nerve. Emotionally cheating for our entire marriage, then trying to make me the bad guy for finding out. I pulled the divorce papers from my bag, put them on the coffee table. Told her I was filing. I'd already moved my stuff. That's when the waterworks really started. Full-on sobbing, saying I was throwing away everything. Over a stupid mistake. Which mistake? I asked. Marrying someone you weren't attracted to? Writing love letters to another man while wearing my ring? Or lying to me every single day for 4 years? She went quiet. Then came the line that showed who she was. After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me? I cooked for you, cleaned for you, supported your career, played the perfect wife at all your work functions. I gave you the best years of my life. That's when I lost it a little. I never asked for a perfect wife. I just wanted someone who actually loved me, who didn't have to pretend, who wasn't secretly writing love letters to another man while I was busting my ass trying to build a life for us. I suffered through sex with you for 4 years. She yelled, face red. Do you know what that's like, to let someone touch you when you're not attracted to them at all? I did that for you because I was trying to make it work. And there it was. The truth. Every time I thought I couldn't feel more humiliated, she twisted the knife deeper. She saw being intimate with me as suffering. I stayed calm somehow. Thank you for finally being honest. This makes my decision even easier. She immediately backtracked, saying she didn't mean it, just angry, hurt. But I was done. Sign the papers or don't. Either way, I'm gone. I wasn't going to fight, wasn't going to drag it out. I just wanted to be free. As I left, she grabbed my arm. He doesn't want me either, you know, Derek. He just wanted the thrill of sneaking around. Once I told him I might leave you for him, he backed off. Said he wasn't looking for anything serious. That's not my problem anymore, I said and walked out. Straight to my new apartment. No fake relationship, no pretending. Just a place to rebuild. The aftermath. That night, Amanda blew up my phone, begging, threatening. I silenced it. I wasn't naive. She'd invested too much in the perfect life image. 3 days later, a delivery guy showed up at my apartment with 20 bags of takeout from my favorite restaurant. A note. I remember what you like. I do pay attention. Please call me. I gave the food to my neighbors. No response. I went back to work, dealt with the awkward questions. Vague answers about growing apart. 2 weeks after I left, Amanda showed up unannounced. Cut her hair, dressed up, looking like she was going to church, not her style. I almost didn't let her in, but neighbors were in the hallway. Big mistake. As soon as the door closed, she started crying, saying she'd made the biggest mistake, would do anything to fix it. When I didn't immediately fold, she switched tactics. The house we'd lose, the financial hit, what our families would think, how dating in our 30s sucks. Not once did she mention loving me. Just external reasons. I pointed this out. She got frustrated. Of course I love you. Like it went without saying. I told her that was the problem. It always went without saying because she couldn't say it honestly. Then, the audacity. She admitted she'd gone to Derek, told him she'd made a mistake, wanted to try again now that I was out of the picture. And he rejected her. Said he wasn't looking for anything serious. Classic karma. She tried to spin this as a revelation that she'd finally gotten Derek out of her system, and could now fully commit to me. Like I was supposed to be grateful to be her plan B. I told her to leave. We had nothing left to discuss except through lawyers. She refused. I had to threaten to call the police before she finally left, slamming the door. One night Katie, Amanda's sister, called me. I know what she did, Katie said right away. I've known about Derek since college. I tried to tell her marrying you when she was still hung up on him was a mistake. Even her sister knew. Katie apologized for not warning me, said she thought Amanda would eventually get over Derek and grow to love me the way I deserved. Small comfort. But at least Katie was honest. The lawyer suggested mediation instead of a drawn-out court battle. If we could agree on assets, we could be divorced in months. I agreed immediately. I didn't care about my fair share anymore. House, furniture, most of our savings, she could have it all if it meant getting free faster. Amanda initially refused mediation, wanted counseling. But my lawyer made it clear this was happening with or without her, that a court battle would make it public and messy. She finally agreed. Moving on. It's been 6 months. The divorce was finalized last week. I let her keep the house, split savings 60/40 her way. My lawyer thought I was an idiot, but I just wanted out. Signing those papers felt surreal. 4 years ended with a few signatures. Amanda cried. I felt nothing. Just empty. Guess that's progress. We talked after. She apologized again, said therapy was helping her see how she'd always made decisions based on other people's expectations. And guess what? Derek got fired for sexual harassment. Turns out I wasn't the only guy whose wife he was messing with. She asked if we could be friends. No, I told her. You can't build a friendship on lies any more than you can build a marriage on them. As for me, things are looking up. I wasn't interested in dating for months. Then I met Megan, an architect who works with my company. We got into an argument about some design specs on a job site, and somehow ended up getting coffee. She's different from Amanda in every way, direct, honest, says what she means. When she likes something, you know it. When she doesn't, she tells you straight up. We've only been on a few dates, taking it super slow. But for the first time in forever, I'm excited about something real, something based on actual attraction, not convenience. I told Megan everything. Thought it might scare her off, but she just squeezed my hand and said, her loss, big time. No drama, no pity. Found out Amanda's selling the house and moving to Chicago. The whole Derek situation exploded at her company. Can't say I'm sorry. She'll be in another city. Sometimes I still get angry, thinking about the years I wasted. But mostly, I'm grateful I found out before we had kids or wasted more time. In a weird way, I'm almost thankful. Finding out the truth showed me what I don't want, which made it clearer what I do want: someone who chooses me first, not as a backup. I don't know what'll happen with Megan. Maybe it works, maybe not. But I'll never settle for being someone's second choice again. Life's too short for that.